Hey folks, I thought I'd come on. I'm kind of hiding right now. I'm not hiding from anybody. I'm just got a little hidey hole mixed up here. This is a Snuggie that I've got as a backdrop here. I'm in a closet. I'm not coming out of the closet in this video. I'm going to stay in the closet. Um, so this is going to be an ex-pastor file video. I thought I'd come on and try to do a quick one to get through the last two appointments that I still haven't shared yet in the ex-pastor files. Last time we talked about the third and fourth appointments that I had, which was the Wyatt's Chapel charge in Dover, and then the new Johnsonville charge. I left New Johnsonville and went to Chapel Hill. And Chapel Hill was a pretty challenging place for me. It was a nice church, nice little community, but it was one of those small towns where everybody knows everything about everybody else. And that was kind of difficult for me to deal with. One of the funny things, when we came in there and went to the electric company to turn on our electric at the parsonage, we said, well, we're so-and-so and we live at this address. They're like, yeah, we know who you are. So that was the kind of place it was. But right after I first got there, I made a mistake. And but I didn't really know I was making a mistake. But here's the mistake that I think I made, was I was trying to please everybody. And you cannot do that. You cannot please everybody. You guys probably heard my little Roadrunner thing there. I'm just going to let that slide. That's my notification sound. What happened was I had several of the older folks in the congregation come to me with a concern. And their concern was they had a choir. And the choir was into the more traditional type music. But there was also a younger group that had developed a worship team. And they were doing more contemporary style things. And they were leading the worship service. And they had the stage that they were on was pretty narrow. And so what they had done is they'd set up microphones in front of the choir. And so we had like 5 or 6 people standing in front of the choir. And these choir members, these older ladies mostly, and some men too, were in the background, and they were being blocked by those worship team members. I didn't like that. So I tried to appease the choir by moving the worship team over to one side. That was my mistake. They got really, really upset at me about that. And for the rest of my time there, the 2 years that I was there, it was awful for me. And I know that they had other issues too. That was another church that it was one of the churches that wanted me to preach more about money and giving. And I felt like they had quite a bit of money already and they didn't need that kind of preaching, and I didn't feel led to preach it, so I didn't, and that caused me some trouble. I'm sure there were other issues too. I can't really remember, but that was the main thing that got the ball rolling. I basically picked the wrong side, I guess. I don't know. If I had it to do over again, I don't know that I would really do much different. I probably wouldn't move the worship people to the side, but I'd figure out something a little different. Maybe move them off the stage in front, or something. That might have been better. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't stay but 2 years there, which is about the minimum that they ever wanted to leave a person out of church. They didn't want to move you much before 2 years was up. All right, so I left from there and I went to Salina, which was closer to home, which I really liked. And I got into trout fishing at Salina, and I met a really great friend there who taught me a lot about bird watching, and I got into nature, and it was just amazing. And I had a really great time there. There was a couple people that gave me some issues, but I had been through a lot of internal problems, and I was depressed at this point. I was on depression medication. I really wanted out of the ministry altogether, but yet I felt trapped because we had sold my home, and I didn't know what I could do to make enough money to support my family and buy a home or rent a home. And so I really felt trapped at that point. And I went into a kind of a crazy, manic state. And I'm not going to tell you everything that I did, but I'll suffice it to say I acted a fool. I did some things that were not good for the church, were not good for, especially not good for my wife and our marriage. Things that I'm ashamed of. I kind of went crazy for about two or three months. During that time, I left the ministry. Just completely left the ministry. And I can remember going and telling my district superintendent, I think I need to turn my license in, because I really don't feel like I agree with the Christian theology anymore, for one thing. And I talked to him. I didn't talk to him so much about the craziness that had been going on with me. And like I said, I kind of want to tell you about all of it, but maybe in another video. I'm not going to go into it right now in this one, but I went through some rough spots. My wife was an amazing person through this. Even though I treated her bad, she stuck by me and worked through it with me, even though I hurt her. I'm just really lucky to have her. That's all I can say. But that concludes the timeline of my ministry. So that was from 1997 on through to 2013. 16 years. I think I've got that right. I started in, I think, August of 97, and I left in October of 2013. So, to be honest with you, I'm glad I'm not in the church anymore. I don't really have any desire to be in the church right now. I don't have any hard feelings against people, even the ones that I felt like treated me bad. I don't hold any grudges against anybody. And I'm sorry if I hurt anybody. I feel bad because I know that some of those people that I feel like were mean to me probably feel like I was a real jerk to them too. And I hate that. I don't like leaving people like that in my life. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. This is the Ex-Pastor Files series, and I just wanted to get through those last two churches. And then that leaves me open to come back and talk about some more specific things and, some more ideas that came on me while I was in the ministry and as my theology changed and so forth. So we'll get into other things as time goes on. I may even go more into depth about my crazy time there at the end. We'll see. I'm going to have to work up some guts before I can do that, though. So you guys show me some love, and I'll talk to you again soon. Later.